All right, I am going out of town to run some errands, so I'm going to take you with me and stop at either a Dollar Tree or a Dollar General that's along the way that I normally wouldn't get to stop at, and see if they have anything fun or exciting that I don't normally see at my local one. At the Dollar General. Let's see if we can find some stuff. I'm back in my car, and I went in there and I was like, I have 65 cents. If I find something that I really like, then I'll get it. But I don't know if I'll find anything for 65 cents. Well, I did find something for 65 cents. I got this sign for 54 cents. It says home is where my plants are, and it's so cute. I freaking love it. So all of the shamrock that are green, like the summer stuff, most of it's showing up as 50% off of the price that it was listed as. In the video that I showed a bunch of things that are on there, but this was $1, it was 50 cents. I scanned a bunch of things with the Dollar General app, and a lot of the items were 50% off at this location. There were a bunch of other cute signs, and there was a bunch of other stuff that was really, really, really cute that was 50% off or 25% off. That's like the summer. I know that purple shamrock and that purple circle was also 50% off. And I didn't have a lot of time to look around, but I feel like I could have found some pennies in there today. But I didn't have enough time to scan like everything. They also had some really, really cute fall and like Thanksgiving, autumn type decorations and different things that are themed for autumn and the season that we're in or whatever. And I had a good time. I'm so excited I got this sign because I love me some plants. I had my baby in June, so my garden kind of died. My cucumbers hung on the longest, and I've got some marigolds that are still alive right now. But I'm ready to get back into it. Hopefully any day now I'm gonna start some seeds up for the like fall. I don't know. I'm not an expert gardener. I'm just like trying. This is my second or third time trying. This will be my first time trying it that's not in the spring though. So I'm gonna try it now for the fall harvest or whatever. So yeah. But anyways, be good. Be good to yourself. You are enough. And I'll see you later.